这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的英语能力在美国日常生活是完全够用的。像学母语一样学英语，我们开始吧。
Harry was a writer. He lay on a cot inside a tent, pitched in the shadow of Mount Kilimanjaro, that massive mountain with its unbelievably white snowy top. But Harry wasn't thinking about the beauty. He was dying. A small scratch on his leg from a thorn had become infected, and now a terrible rot called gangrene was spreading. There was nothing to be done but wait. His wife Helen sat nearby, a kind woman wealthy, who tried to make him comfortable. But comfort wasn't what Harry felt inside. As he lay there, sweating in the heat, his mind was filled with a deep, aching bitterness. It wasn't just the physical pain. It was the pain of a life he felt he had wasted. He remembered so many things, incredible moments, sights, feelings, things he had planned to write about, stories he had saved up. He thought about snow falling in the mountains of Austria, arguments in Paris cafes, the feeling of being under fire in a war, the faces of people he'd known. These memories crowded his mind, sharp and clear, but they brought pain because he had never put them down on paper properly. He hadn't written the truly good stories he knew he had inside him. He looked over at Helen. She was good to him, tried to soothe him, but he felt a wave of resentment. Her money had made life too easy, he thought. It had made him soft, lazy. He'd started writing for money, not for truth. He'd traveled to rich people's places, done rich people's things, and somewhere along the way, he'd lost himself, the real writer he was meant to be. He felt contempt, a nasty feeling, both for her and for himself, for letting it happen. He knew these thoughts were cruel, unfair perhaps, but they festered inside him like the gangrene in his leg. He felt like his whole life had become rotten. Outside the tent, strange noises came from the darkness. One sound, a hyena's cry, felt especially close and ugly. It sounded like death itself, shuffling nearby, waiting. Harry felt a deep chill despite the heat. He didn't want to die this way, smelling the sickness on himself, filled with the sour taste of regret. He remembered a story he'd heard about Kilimanjaro, that high up on the western summit, near the top, the frozen body of a leopard had been found. No one could explain what the leopard was doing at that incredible height. Harry thought about the leopard. Was it climbing towards something? Did it get lost? It seemed like a strange, lonely symbol, reaching for something pure and high, frozen before it got there. Maybe, he thought, he was a bit like that leopard. The feeling of death became stronger, closer. It wasn't scary anymore, just a heavy presence. He felt tired, strangely peaceful even. His mind started to drift. Suddenly, it felt like morning. He heard a noise. An airplane. His friend Compton was piloting it, coming to rescue him. He felt himself being lifted into the plane. They were flying, rising higher and higher. Below them, the African plain stretched out. And ahead, impossibly bright, blindingly white in the sun, was the square top of Kilimanjaro. He knew somehow that this was where he was meant to go. He felt a sense of relief wash over him. But back in the tent, it was still dark. Helen woke up later in the night. She spoke to Harry, but he didn't answer. She touched him. He was cold. His journey was over. He had died quietly on the cot. The rescue plane, the flight towards the dazzling white summit, it had all been a dream in his fading mind. Outside, in the African night, The hyena made another strange, sad sound.
你太棒了，你学完了全部内容，你离英语自由又近了一步，下个视频见。